Hello and welcome everyone. This is Humans of Pharma platform by Pharmacist Academy, and we are here learning and listening to various stories. As every story is different and so is every perspective. We are here for the fourth career series episode, and in this particular episode today, we will get insights on empowering pharma in the way for leading, innovating, and impacting global healthcare. Speaking of global healthcare, today we have the privilege of introducing Mr. Shailesh Kapadia, a pharmaceutical specialist and influential figure with over 18 years of experience in sales, marketing, and regulatory affairs. With an impressive track record of launching 70 plus successful products across multiple therapeutic segments in various global markets, so has firmly established himself as an industry expert. Shailesh's contribution extend beyond his professional accomplishments. He led the ISO accreditation process for OPHAM, Madagascar, making it the first and only ISO certified pharmaceutical distribution company in the entire Indian Ocean region. Furthermore, he has been invited as a guest speaker and panelist at prestigious events such as Informa Markets, Cphi Worldwide, and Cphi Middle East and Africa, as well as Pharmexcil, where he shared his insights and expertise on pharmaceutical advancement in the Sub-Saharan Africa region. Welcoming Shailesh Sir, a true luminary in the pharma industry, his wealth of experience, unwavering dedication, and insightful perspectives are sure to inspire and enrich our understanding of the field. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, so let's get this conversation started. And before I begin, I start with my usual courtesy. How are you, sir? And how is the day treating you?
It's okay. The day has started well. So yeah, looking fresh. You and me both. So and so
Okay,
yeah, all good. Yeah.
great then, great then. Here's the first question for you. Starting with, can you share with us a project that you particularly proud of learning during your 18 plus experience in pharma sales and marketing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. The most interesting part where I see where I spent my pharma career was walking in Madagascar. One of the reason why Madagascar has been so special, because when initially I was not ready to move to Madagascar because I was in Kenya, English speaking country, and a lot of benefits, a lot of Indian community around, so it was a more comfortable journey there. But then finally I decided, let's take this initiative, let's take this challenge. And I agreed to move to Madagascar. But then my experience of my landing in Madagascar changed my entire prospects. People don't speak English. And that was an incident where I realized that if the patient don't, the people don't speak English, how to manage a company. But then despite all the initial challenges, I said, okay, let's take this as an opportunity to improve myself, to improve my skill sets, and let's move ahead. So I joined this company where hardly one or two people were speaking English, but then there was a team which has to be managed in a different language. So that was a very interesting phase of life where I started learning French. I started learning the local language. I started understanding what the Malagasy culture is all about, how the Malagasy people think, how they work, how they behave, what is their one thing I should take care of them, how the people can be managed in a different way, unlike in East Africa or in different parts. So that was a very interesting phase. And then from there, I started building that, this country is a very special country and this country needs a very special attention. And that is why even today, Madagascar always remains for me as a second home where I keep on traveling, I keep on walking. And then, yes, that is a very interesting phase of my life.
Great, impressive actually. Uh, if so, you have learned French apart from Gujarati and Hindi as well. So, personally, any favorite pick? So,
See, every language has its own uniqueness, whether you speak your own language, whether you speak a national language, or whether you speak a professional language like English. Uh, Unlike this language, French is a very different language again. Learning French took time. Learning French requires a lot of skills also. In terms that, the grammar is one aspect where you have to take care about the grammar very. French is called as a language of love, language of respect, language of pride. So again, speaking French was a difficult aspect, but then it goes well. Practice day by day. Just I follow the principle of just improving 1% daily. That was the concept which I adopted, and then take off the language. Yes, it makes a lot of impact when you speak French. Personally, when I was working in Canada as a business development manager with a rep, so rep was very hesitant to visit a pharmacist who is speaking French, because they, and again because they love to speak in French, so they always call me. Now I'm visiting these areas. Can you help me to join us? We want to speak with the pharmacist and want to discuss the product. So obviously that is one advantage which I personally see of knowing a language. Second advantage I realized when I was doing some business development for a company in French Africa. So I used to deal with a lot of agents in Ivory Coast, Benin, Togo, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, Gabon. So these are 100% French-speaking countries. So there it always gives an advantage where you speak French. So they start accepting you in a better way. The bonding was better. The association was quite easy for us to make. So yeah, all as like all language has its advantage. French has its own advantages in a communication.
Great, multilingual prowess. Moving on, let's progress to the another point of discussion. What's the one thing you wish more people knew about the pharmaceutical industry?
Wow, this is, everybody started thinking about pharma in a different way now. Pre-COVID, so there is for pharmaceutical industry, there is a two era now. It is pre-COVID and post-COVID. Personally, for any common people in any, they feel pharmaceutical industry is a profit-making industry. Do you people make a lot of money out of medicine, out of illness of a person? But that's not a true today. Today, industry is serving the mankind, serving the community. We see this as a classical example where the vaccines was launched during the COVID time, and it has really helped majority of the population to survive that massive stroke of the disease. Apart from them, this is one industry which is giving an enormous amount of opportunities to the people. So let's say a tablet like paracetamol. So for a common patient, it is, or a person who is taking paracetamol, it can be just a one tablet of paracetamol. But when you ask me how this one paracetamol tablet is there in the hand of patient, there are a lot of people who walk around this one tablet of paracetamol. So there is an API who has been involved. There is excipients, there is a manufacturing process, there is a regulatory process, there is a quality control, quality analysis, and then the marketing and the sales aspect. So in all this hierarchy, all people are getting job. So your one paracetamol, what you are taking today, it is given a job to not less than at least 15, 30, 40 people who are involved in manufacturing of this particular paracetamol. So for me, this industry is not only about money making, it's all about creating jobs, creating the wellness and taking care of the healthcare of the community.
Enlightening industry part you have made out of it. And apart from this, Shailesh sir, how do you keep abreast of the ever-changing regulatory landscape in different global markets, given your expertise in regulatory affairs?
Uh, yeah, it's an interesting question because knowledge is power. We all believe that more you know, more you get acquainted, more you are aware. So personally, I believe in a lot of networking. So for me, network is your net worth. So one is the networking part where LinkedIn is one thing which is keeping you a best. For me, LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn in a more effective way where I have a lot of connections globally, where I know if I have some assistance required in certain part of the world, via some connections, obviously I make a connections with them. There are certain webinars which are conducted recently by all the bigger institutes, like let's say let it be a Informa markets, or even in India we have this. I mean, you are doing fantastic job, pharmaceutical company, where I had attended a lot of sessions online. Live pharma correlation is one aspect where there is. So these are the online platforms which are really helping you to upgrade your knowledge skill at a different level. Personally, I feel these are one of the tools which I really appreciate. uh, Thirdly, is about we have. I mean, personally, I have a lot of connections across Africa, across Southeast Asian countries, as well as in Canada, US. So any of time, now WhatsApp is the again, is a power. So anytime when you are stuck somewhere, you need. I just call them, chat them, get in touch with them for any of the information, any of the latest happenings around the market, around the regulatory aspects like this. Again, in LinkedIn, there are certain LinkedIn groups which are more into regulatory aspects. So these are creating a lot of awareness amongst the regulatory people around the industry. Even now, what has started, even like in USFTA, so the USFTA have started their own online courses where you can just go and register and get abreast with all the latest happening with the USFTA. Same like in Canada, Health Canada is doing a lot of online. So even the resources are available online. So yes, these are all some of the things which can help on uprising my regulatory affairs aspect.
Oh, thank you so much for that, sir. There's so much insights in one answer. Speaking of networking and engagements, as you said, do you have a standout experience to share from any of your speaking engagements as a guest speaker or panelist at events?
Yeah, great question again. I have never been to speaking. I mean, speaking on a platform. Trust me. So I remember it was in 2018 where the Informa Markets contacted me, and it was the event of Cphi Madrid. So where they want me to speak on the investment opportunities in Sub-Saharan Africa, and specifically in the Indian Ocean region, because I remember during those days I was based in Madagascar handling the company. So they wanted me to speak something about the investment opportunity in this region. Obviously, when you see the countries which are in the Indian Ocean region, they are more known for their touristic places, let's say Seychelles, or even Mauritius, or Reunion Island, or Maldives. But everybody knows about the beautiful beaches on these countries, but there are certain opportunities which this country offers in terms of the pharmaceutical investments. So that was a topic which was very, very different one, which I was given the responsibility to speak upon. And when I was not aware, then I did a lot of research and I analyzed, and I say, really, this can be a country where the people are really just coming for tourism and not for investments. Obviously, Mauritius, we know traditionally is a tax haven. So people have their offshore accounts in Mauritius, but they never come to a point where the Mauritius government is giving a lot of benefits to the investments, especially in the pharma, where there's a 5 years tax assumptions and all of different benefits. Even the lands, they are given a very subsidized rate. And trust me, this was never been explored by anybody. So that was a very interesting topic during one of this CPHI event at Madrid, which I delivered. And after that, I had been approached by certain companies also, how we can leverage into the Mauritian market or in Madagascar to have their own manufacturing facilities.
Amazing, amazing one. Let's just shift our focus to the another area. If, in your opinion, what is the importance of accreditation and certification for businesses, especially in industries such as pharmaceuticals, where regulatory compliance is crucial? And also, can you share a specific example of how these certifications have positively impacted your career?
Uh, Great question again. Certification is the backbone of the company. Now the pharmaceutical company who are into exports, they always want to have certain accreditations. So yes, in India, there is a GMP, which is one thing which has been approved by the local FDA. But other than that, when they think of exporting the product, then this accreditation plays a very vital role. So each country has their own way of allowing the products entry into the market. So there are certain countries, let's say in East Africa, where they do plant inspections of the pharmaceutical company. They come to India, they inspect the facility, and then they give the accreditation. Similarly, the US FDA is doing like similar way, or even like say even in Europe also. So all these accreditations are really helping the company to, one is to showcase the industry that yes, the quality of the product will be at the par with the the European standards or the American standards. Number two, it also helps in terms of registration. So let's say there are some certain countries, they have certain registration requirements. So if your product is if your facilities are approved by peaks, or if it is approved by some of the ICH countries, if it is approved by US FDA, then the regulatory body where you are applying it puts a lot of weightage. And most of the companies who are operating into different parts of the world, which are so-called global companies, these are taken as an advantage. For example, in Africa, within Africa also, if you ask me, so there are certain advantages. Let's say there is a region called Jajibona. So 4 countries of Southern Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia, they have formed a region called Jajibona. So if your product is approved in Zambia, then it is very, very easy to enter into Botswana or Namibia or Zimbabwe. So these are some of the advantages which companies are taking. Recently, there was a tie-up between Health Canada and MHRA UK. That means if the product is approved by MHRA, they can easily enter into the Canadian market. Vis-a-vis, similarly, Canadian products can enter UK market with a lot of challenges. Similarly, in let's say in UAE markets, if the products are from ICH countries, or if the product is coming from US FDA facilities, then they have a different way of registering the product. Sometimes having the accreditation also helps to enter some countries with minimal documentations. Let's say a product is approved by European country or approved by US FDA. Then if you enter a market which is a developing country, there you can enter very, very easily with a minimal set of documents. So obviously these accreditations play a very critical role in sustaining the company's image, not only in terms of delivering that the products are coming from the best source, but also giving real 100% product which is required.
Exemplary commitment examples. Also, sir, like if I talk of another important question here, can you share an example of how you have utilized your strong quantitative skills to drive business development and sales growth for a company?
Okay, great. So, when it comes to quantitative aspects, so it includes a couple of things. One includes the mathematical skill, your analysis skill, your resource skill, and also your understanding about the market. So once you are, let's say, if I want to enter a market or enter a product, I go with always the information. So today, information is king, information is power. So once we derive the information, let's say I want to launch an oncology product. So we deep dive into what is the market, what are the competition, what are the therapies which are available, what are the molecules which doctors prefer, what are the prevalent cancer in the country, and based on all the information we put into a data, and we analyze that, okay, let's enter into this therapy area, or let's enter into this particular molecule which can gives a sustainable business. So obviously, quantification always help to come to a clear decision, a clear pathway, how to move ahead in terms of product registration, in terms of product development, as well as in terms of marketing the product on the later stage of the product cycle.
They simply put, and it's true that stellar quantitative skills driving growth all over.
Oh, yes.
Uh, right. Let's shift our attention to the next one. Like you have already
Add
stated
on to
about.
that, first thing to be is to you to start loving the numbers. The day when you start loving numbers, you will start understanding the significance why it is all about.
True, true.
Yeah.
Uh, Leading to another question, could you walk us through your approach to identifying new market opportunities and launching successful products? Like you already have launched over 70 products in different therapeutic segments. So, how does it, what is your personal approach?
So I always start, with what I want to launch, or what I want to do in the market. So always this question is all about the patient. So personally, I take the approach of a patient approach or patient centric approach. So considering that the product I want to launch, uh, I go into the analysis. Let's again that quantitative analysis, what is always about. So we try to start a surveys from the doctor, from the healthcare professionals. What is the need? What are the current guidelines they are following? What are the gaps in the current guidelines? What are the resources they are using? And what are the gaps in the resources they don't have? So based on all this, information, we decide to plan that, okay, in let's say a therapy area where something is missing. So we say, okay, this is the area of opportunity. This is the area where it can be, very, very useful, even from the patient point of view. So because of this advantage, we drive to a conclusion that, okay, this product, this patient need this thing, whether it's a product, it can be a service, it can be even a diagnostic tool. So all about the patient centric approach, what I personally take.
Oh, great here. Um, and how do you see the pharma industry evolving in the next 5, 10 years? And how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve?
Oh, this is very interesting question in terms of how it is. So there's a two era, as I said, there's a pre-COVID, post-COVID. So again, what of my discussion today I will share is about, post-COVID era, because now next 5 years, 10 years are very critical for the industry. So, what has happened after COVID, the healthcare industry has evolved around a lot. Earlier it was more about the therapies and about the margins, and but now this shift has been changed. So now the shift is more towards the patient centric approach. If you there are certain areas which, let's say, we call it as a new normal. So now new normal is where we are approaching. So this new normal is about, number one is about making the products accessible and available. So one area where this is important is where the generic companies are playing a right role. We are into an era where, some of the products are been out of patent. So this will really give an opportunity for most of the pharmaceutical company to come with the similar generics version. So that reduces the healthcare burden. So let's some examples, like we are flooded with a lot of products which are off patents now. So this is one opportunity for generics. Number two is the biosimilar market. So again, post COVID, the biosimilars are also gaining a lot of importance in the therapy management, where biosimilars will play a crucial role in the industry. Third thing, what has really impacted post-COVID is the supply chain disruption. Supply chain stability is one thing which pharmaceutical company has to adopt. Let's say in US, 90% of the products are prescribed, they're of generic form, and they're manufactured in US, obviously. But then when you see the APIs, 87% of the APIs, they're coming outside US. That means I want to manufacture a product, but I'm not getting a sufficient quantity of APIs. So again, which is disrupting my local, economics. So supply chain sustainability is one part where the pharmaceutical company keeps on, working, and it has been observed during the COVID and even immediate effect after the COVID. Even the supply chain we talk about. These are delays in getting the containers. There are delays in getting the shipping companies to work with the companies. So these are all evolving around the supply chains. And third aspect is what I can see is there's a shift in the treatment of the approach. So earlier, if a pharmaceutical company has to sustain, now we have to change that approach of a therapy-based approach to patient-centric approach. Like the evaluation of digital health, the web-based approach, or the telekey. These are coming in a very frequent way. And so because of this, now sitting at the comfort of the home, you are getting treated in a certain way. Consultations are possible, and even the telemedicine is possible, like in India or in some countries now, e-pharmacies are coming up in a big way. So this is the total shift which can be seen in the pharma industry. Also moving forward, the AI-based applications, AI-based models, or patient-specific treatments is also will be on higher side, where doctor will analyze. So we call it as a precision medicine. This is another therapy or the area which pharmaceutical company has to adopt, where each therapy is being based on the individual patient's profile. They will analyze their gene status, they will analyze their lifestyles, and then according the modifications are being made. And also the technologies which are also developing, like the wearable technologies, like Apple Watches and other stuffs has been come up in a big way, and that all about how the industry can evolve on next 5 to 10 years.
Visionary foresight, Shailesh sir. My last question here, though I've asked a lot of questions, having worked in different regions like India, Africa, and Canada, what insights can you offer about the pharma industry, and what advice would you give to the younger individuals or anyone interested in pursuing the similar career path like yours?
Yeah, so everybody has a story, I always say. But yeah, it's an interesting journey, because honestly, every market is a different market. Every place is a different place. But so one thing I always say, for everybody that let's come out from the comfort zone. Let's leave our belongings to a certain extent, and let's move ahead. Today, our one world, one family. Earlier it was I don't want to leave India. I don't want to leave Gujarat. I don't want to leave Maharashtra. That was the attitude which was there. And even to a certain extent, that mentality has to come out. That okay, I want to be flexible. I want to move out of my comfort zone, and then let's take the new challenges. And we have to understand that every opportunity comes with a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities to be encashed into. To that extent, that yes, you have to adapt to the newer environments, newer people, newer country, and then that is why the adaptability aspect is the one aspect which has to be on the mindset. Then another thing, is about your integration with the community. So how often you integrate with your community, this makes your life very comfortable. So yeah, these are some key notes I can share, that yes, you have to be flexible, you have to be move out of your comfort zone and take the risk.
Excellent and invaluable advice, Shailesh sir. This leads to an end. Shailesh sir, I know we have asked a lot of questions today, and thank you so much for being here, answering all our questions out, and taking time out of your busy schedule. This means a lot. Thank you so much.